Hey everybody, this is Vegetarian Zombie again, and we are going to pick up where we last left off, which was starving in the woods. So the very first thing I need to do now is get some food. Now, playing this long term, I'm going to have to come up with a quick solution. But for now, I'm just going to do some hunting and gathering, and hopefully I can remember exactly where I came from. So we're going to go on a pig hunting expedition. And let's see what we can find here. I've been doing some more research about this mod. It's kind of interesting. Here's some pumpkins. There's a whole bunch of new types of metal in this mod. There's steel, copper, tin, I believe, and those are kind of the building blocks that I'll ultimately use to create the components of my rockets. Piggies. Oh, nice. There are lots of piggies here. And some chickens. Or ducks. We're going to try and keep some of these piggies alive so that we can create a little farm later down the road. Let's take these mushrooms. This was a nice find. And I might get another ducky. Chicken, or whatever you want to call them. Here we go, and we'll get this guy. Generally speaking, I'm not too concerned with the chickens, just so much because I usually find tons of eggs and so forth, so I can usually slaughter populations indiscriminately without too much care. The pigs are a different matter. I remember when Minecraft 1 was released, pigs were, it wasn't pigs, it was they limited the respawns of animals. And I remember at the time, I always liked to use wool. So I would go to sheep's and they stopped the wool generation at that time too. So I would shave the sheep and it would never grow back wool. And if you killed the sheep, that sheep was gone from the area for good. So then I spent a crazy amount of time looking for more sheep. So thank God they fixed that bug. Now I think I am lost. This is great. Well, thankfully we do have some tools at our disposal. And let's just do this right now. Let's make another crafting table. And thankfully these are relatively cheap. And I'm going to make a furnace here. This is an emergency furnace. Take this here. And we'll put it right here. Put in a piece of coal and let's start cooking. Yeah, I'm not very good with directions. I tend to get lost in this. And Minecraft, more than any other game, can reproduce those feelings of when you got lost in a department store as a kid. The world is just so huge, and there's no worse feeling than not knowing how to get back to your home base. Generally speaking, in those cases, what I'll tend to do is just stop and make another little base. And in that little base, I'll just dig all the way down and do a little quick mining job to find redstone and some iron and grab a compass. Here, I'll grab this piece of coal here. And then I'll use that compass to find my way back home. But the important thing, of course, is not to die. There we go. Okay, so let's just take this with us. Nothing like carrying around a burning furnace in my pocket. All right, let's find back our little hidey hole. And I'm going to be talking about some of the... Ooh, look what we have here. Hello, my friend. You look tasty. There we go. And we'll take this guy out over here. This gives us plenty of leather. Where are you going? Come on. Come here. Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate your donation. All right. Now, I was on a hill, and let's see if we can find that hill again. It's not really too important I find my way back. I can sort of reset up shop anywhere, but it's nice to stay consistent. Oop, there's a nice little mushroom. And more cows. Here we go. So, as I've mentioned, my first goal in this is to actually get to the moon and get to Mars and explore all the space parts of this mod. But that's really a long-term goal. That's going to take me a long time. And to be entirely honest with you, I don't know if I'll even be recording then. This is, as I mentioned in the first video, more of an experiment for me, but I hope to continue. I can promise you at least I'll do 10 videos. And at the end of those, I'll see where it stands and stuff, and if I enjoy doing them. But my initial goals, besides getting out to space, is to first to set up my base. And the first things I need to do is come up with a nice food supply. And I'm doing that right now. But I also need to create a bed. I'm going to need to create a better consistent food source. So I'll need to create a small farm. And then I'll need to start prepping my tools. And the tools I'll need, of course, are iron. I'm going to need some diamond. I'm also going to want to create an enchanting table. And the enchanting table will ultimately help my tools in the long run. So those are my immediate short-term goals. So the first thing, let's create a bed. So to create a bed, I'm going to need to do a little mining and find myself some iron. This looks familiar. Here we are. My little hidey hole. We made it back. Yay. All right. This will be my little bedroom. It's nothing really to look at, but in time it will grow. Okay. So the big problem here is I'm back to 1 coal again. And I should get a chest so I can start storing this stuff. So here's this, and let's make some chests. Here we go. And we got 2 chests. Okay. This is a little tight on head. I like to have lots of headroom in my structures. Here we go. And I also don't like that my crafting table is outside. By doing that, it forces me to go outside in times, especially at night when it's kind of dangerous. So I'm going to move that inside. And let's just put a little cobble here. And we'll get this guy. Now, ultimately, I'll be changing this entire structure here to make it a little more homier, add some windows and so forth. But like I said, it's just the beginning. Here we go. Now let's create a place for us to put our chest. Here we go. And I'll put down my chest here. And I can be a little particular about how I place my food items and how I order my chests. Again, the thing to keep in mind is just to know where things are, to spend less time searching for things and more time actually playing the game. And so that's kind of like how I like to order chests. Eventually I'll have a chest just for cobble, a chest just for wood, a chest just for even my valuable resources that I don't want anyone to, I just need to know where they are. And I'd consider this, even though this is sort of a potion, consider this a food item. And this is like the random stuff. I'm kind of a pack rat in this game. I don't like to get rid of things because oftentimes I don't want to spend the time looking for things again. So I keep literally all my dirt, I keep all my cobble, and then when I need a big project, I can just go back into my giant storerooms and get what I need to. But of course, there are times where stuff just gets in the way, and in those cases, and they're rare cases, I will build an incinerator to handle that. All right, so we got this here. I'm going to keep my crafting table. I'll keep my pumpkins. And I'll keep my sticks. And it's dark. This is not what I wanted. And we'll move this here. So, unfortunately, I'm sort of stuck here for the night. So we have to make the best of it. Let's get that coal again. And this will give me 4 torches. Here we go. Excellent. I tend to just escape out when I'm crafting. I just escape out of it instead of putting it back in my inventory and doing the process a minute, and then I just walk over and pick it up again. Again, I don't like to spend too much time on certain things. So I'm going to go down, and I'm just going to try and see if I can bump into a little vein of coal. This is what we call a long shot, but it's the only shot I have. Coal, to me, is probably the most important resource in this game. Some of you are probably screaming, diamonds, it's diamonds. But coal is really the driver of your economy. Coal is what creates torches, keeps the monsters out. It's what you use to smelt things. And you use it pretty much like if you don't have any coal, your game is stuck. You are helpless. And it's easy to forget that until you run out of coal. When I do a lot of mining, one time actually when I was doing heavy mining, I used to see all these giant branches of coal, and I'd get just annoyed by it because there was just so much of it, and coal is so common. Well, what happened in that game was I ran out, and then I had to stop what I was doing and go all the way back and look for these areas that I hadn't mined the coal, which also created additional problems since I had no light sources anymore. So I had to start cannibalizing my own light sources. Well, this will give us a greater view to see if we can find any more. And it looks like I am all out. Yes, I do not like playing in the dark. And I don't like watching people play in the dark, to tell you the truth. So let's just do a little cannibalization here. Here we go, and I'm just going to wall this up in case we have any friends spawn behind us, which is a definite possibility. Here we go. Okay, excellent. Let's look for more coal. Oops, lost our light. Here, I'll put this back. Now I could always go outside and find that area where I put all those torches in, and that might be something I'll do in the daylight. But I generally don't like to go outside at night. Early mornings are kind of creepy too, with all the creepers running around. Because there's nothing worse than dying outside at night and then trying to find your way back to your base with nothing in your inventory. Here, we'll move this guy here. There we go. I've had too many experiences where I'll just keep dying, and skeletons will just be lining up at the spawn point, just happy to see me. Oops. The shovel is gone. And it looks like we have no coal. Okay, so let's do some more digging. And we'll just randomly carve a passage. Whoop, lost my pick. Thankfully, we have tools on hand. Generally, I like to work with a diamond pick. Just get used to it after a while. But carrying diamond equipment also makes me extremely paranoid. I tend to die in construction accidents. And to tell you the truth, that was actually the big pull for this game. It was a game where I didn't really die in combat. I died building an item. Well, look at this. Who needs to go outside? You can see our world is slowly coming together. Wow. That was pretty fortunate. I did not expect that at all. Looks like we're going to have a pretty elaborate base here. Lots of entrances and exits. And I'm going to take some of those torches. I hate doing this, to tell you the truth. But it's the only way to move forward. And I can really sprinkle torches everywhere. If you play with me on a server, you'll see like I will put torches maybe every few blocks. And I'm just paranoid about monsters spawning behind me. And there's nothing worse than walking through someone's tunnel system who they didn't take the time to properly light it, and then bumping into a creeper. That's just not how I like to spend my days. So I tend to be a little crazily over-prepared. And we found our coal. Excellent. So I'm just going to finish this bit. And once I get this coal, it's probably a good time to sign off. At this point now, we got some coal. We got a nice little base with some additional passages. We got a good food supply. So what we need next is iron. Once we get iron, then we can build some scissors, shear the wool, and then make a bed. At that point, we'll be pretty well situated so that if we die, we can go right back to where we started from. Once we get the bed in place, we'll start looking at going down and doing some deep mining. And it's doing that deep mining where we will actually start collecting the raw materials for building the spaceship. And that's tin, I think it's copper, and I think there's one more. So here, let me just move back up here. Let's see if we have any visitors waiting for us. Shouldn't do this with my sword, and it is daylight. All right. Well, that was a pretty productive session. Oh, and here's my buddy. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little Let's Play so far, and I will see you in the next episode. Cheers.